Hey guys, what's going on? Back with another zombies video. It's gonna be a kind of a long video, something that I started working on as soon as the Die Machine trailer dropped a month ago. The one that's about to hit 6 million. It's a really good trailer, and I never really made a breakdown video for that because I was kind of emotionally involved in the video, and there was a lot of things in there, and I just wanted to give myself time, and I urge people to take time, really look at the video, look at the deep messages behind the video, and before you just jump. I know the whole idea is to put the video up first, get make the most money, and that I understand that's what zombie YouTubers are primarily in the business for, is just to make money, not necessarily the story or the love of the game, so to speak. So, anyways, a couple days ago, Treyarch dropped a YouTube video for the new theme song, or the new Damned Zombies theme, which is called Echoes of the Damned. And that was the final puzzle that I needed to make this video the final piece, or the cherry on top. And I guess that makes sense as to why they would have released it so much later, right before the actual game is gonna release. So, but that, funny enough, I'm gonna wait till the end to explain that. I'm gonna go through pretty much the trailer breakdown, and obviously, as you see in the title, how it relates to Iron Man. And first things first, keep in mind this isn't the end all be all, that Die Machine's fully based off of Iron Man. It's going to be specifically Iron Man 2, and I'll go into that in a little bit. Because in the past, they've taken inspiration from several movies and kind of meshed it all into the map. Um, Transit being one of them. I'm not going to go into that specifically because I've made a video about that, made several videos. This one, also, like I said, Iron Man isn't the end all be all. There's probably maybe two other movies that go into making Die Machine that I can find, and you're going to have to kind of piece it together. I don't think I've made a video of any of it yet. Might have hinted about it on Twitter, but just gonna backtrack a little bit. Like I said, in Transit, Martin's character was based off of Marty McFly's father in Back to the Future. I think Back to the Future 1. I don't think he really shows up in the other movies. Maybe 1 or 2. The whole series was based off of Transit, Buried, and Die Rise. I'm not gonna go into that because I made a pretty long video, I believe, already on that. And if you look at Marty McFly's watch, that's the same watch that uh, Martin wears in the Transit series. I'm just gonna call it. Also, from another movie, The Big Lebowski, that's who Stuhlinger is based off of. That one I can't take credit for. I ended up seeing it on Reddit, I believe, a really old Reddit from probably when Transit first released. And I did watch. I guess back then, like most people, I watched the movies and I couldn't make the connection. And that's the big thing about solving Easter eggs. You can play stuff in front of people if they can't comprehend or use their cognitive thinking and piecing stuff together. It doesn't matter what you place in front of them; they're just not going to get it. And the best analogy that I wanted to mention is, like, let's say you roll out in front of somebody a ball of dough, mozzarella, pepperoni, and some tomato sauce. If they're not smart enough to know what to do with that in an oven, they're not going to know what to do with it. Doesn't matter what you show them or do them, they just can't get it. And that's what it goes into solving Easter eggs. I know there's a lot of people right now on YouTube and Twitter that are upset because certain people are solving stuff more than them, or their favorite YouTuber and stuff like that. But like I said, it's just, you got to kind of be aware and really deep think. I know most of them are just like clowns and they go and troll and stuff like that, and they're not really in it to solve it. They're just on Twitter and YouTube to get their names out there and whatever. But you got to keep in mind, like I said, a lot of these characters are based from movies, if not all of them. As far as Transit characters, really quickly before I go into the whole Iron Man thing, um, I believe Russman and Misty might be from the Super 8 movie. That I'm not 100% sure because the way the movie released very close to when Transit got released. So I'm still up in the air on that. That's why I really didn't make a video about that yet. But this is just some backstory. Another big backstory. It looks like I can kind of confirm what rumors I've been hearing, how this kind of like maybe was supposed to happen in Black Ops 4, maybe Season 2, because some of it kind of ties into Black Ops 3. So if you go into Nero's uh, lair, is it a lair? Nero's whatever part of Shadows of Evil, you'll see the Captain America shield there. And if you upgrade the KN-44, it becomes the Anointed Avenger, hinting at the Anointed One, which was a Marvel character also. And lastly, I don't have a picture of it, but the Civil Protector, a lot of people just called him Iron Man. So it looks like this was going to continue into Black Ops 4, maybe because of Corona, and then because of the way people just were toxic in Black Ops 4 with Chaos and other stuff. They just kind of said, screw it, we're just going to save it for the next game. I'm assuming, I don't know, but there are a lot of also Marvel hints and then also in I forget the last DLC for Black Ops 4. Um, I forget what it's called, but there was a lot of Marvel stuff in there. It looked like, or Avengers stuff. It looked like. But keep in mind, this isn't anything new. They're probably just kind of pushing it forward now and catching up to what they were gonna probably do in Black Ops 4. Like I said, Civil Protector being a really big hint also. So again, I'm just gonna kind of roll through how the trailer. It's kind of more like a trailer breakdown and showing you how it relates to Iron Man 2 specifically. And then here's the shield, Captain America's shield from Iron Man 2. Specifically, it makes a small little cameo in the movie. But if you're familiar with Captain America, that is definitely a variation of his shield. Um, so Iron Man 2 opens up in Moscow. Of course, you know Black Ops 4, the Cold War takes place in Moscow, deals with a lot in Russia and Moscow in the Cold War era and stuff like that. Um, I've already made multiple videos about this. The machine that you can see is circular. You can either call it a proton accelerator or a particle accelerator. What they do is they smash particles together, hoping to create black holes so you can time travel or maybe go different places in space, create new particles. Maybe those particles you can use to create new wonder weapons. Just some thoughts, and it's real life stuff. It's not just in movies and a Treyarch thing. It's actually in real life. There's scientists and all over the world that have particle accelerators that are trying to create new particles to maybe create weapons, black holes, and time travel and stuff like that. Mainly, I think creating new particles and stuff like that. And like I said, there's other movies that I'm not going to include it. This is specifically just for Iron Man 2. And in Iron Man 2, Tony Stark / Iron Man creates his own particle accelerator because he's dying from the palladium, I believe that's in his core, reactor core, I guess they're calling it. So he creates a miniature particle accelerator, and then he succeeds in creating a particle that he needs using. I don't think they go into it. He just puts a crystal, and I guess that's where in our Dark Ether story, it's going to be Ethereum crystals. I believe they confirmed it. Maybe those are the crystals we'll need to create new particles or whatever, or create new weapons. Who knows? At this point, I'm just kind of going through what's in the movie versus what can be in the game. And he succeeds in creating a new core for his suit. He smashed particles together. They don't really get into the science part of it, like what particles and even that it is a particle accelerator. But when you do some Google searching, you can find out Iron Man 2 deals with particle accelerators, and I think they do mention it. I think he talks to the computer. I forget her name, which is funny because that kind of mimics probably Sophia in the whole zombies storyline. How the computer. Oh wait, no, is it? Is it a woman or computer? I know he also has a guy computer. I forget. I think he does have a woman one also. I forget that talks to him. Anyways, he ends up creating a new particle using his accelerator for his core. Like again, I said this is kind of like a trailer breakdown showing you how it maybe relates, or they drew inspiration from the movie into the maps and trailer and stuff like that. We obviously use the sentry gun from the multiplayer part mode of Call of Duty Black Ops. You know, there's usually a sentry gun. In the movie, the bad guy, I forget his name. It doesn't really matter. I think his name is Hammer. He also has a company that rivals Stark Enterprises, creating weapons for the military. And he has like a sentry gun minigun that he ends up putting on one of his prototype suits. And I thought maybe, hey, Treyarch probably threw that in there also as an Easter egg. Not necessarily a sentry gun, because I know I will get trolled with people saying that's not a sentry gun, that's a minigun. If you watch the movie, like, I know it is, and I'm just saying that maybe where they drew inspiration from. Next thing in the trailer, you see a war machine. He ends up selling a war machine to Tony Stark. Um, so that's probably where that came from. Why they threw the um, specialist weapon, I guess, the war machine in there. Next thing, which is kind of where I really started seeing it, and once you see it from here, you're not going to be able to unsee it, and I think it's the coolest thing in the world. Weaver is our main like leader, I guess, in a way. He's like he organizes. He's not really out there on the field. I don't think fighting. Maybe I don't remember if he's in the trailer, but he is supposed to mimic Nick Fury. That is in charge of the Avengers. I think he kind of like groups them together, goes out and recruits. But you'll see now in Iron Man 2 that it all makes sense now when you think about it. And um, I might not seem excited, but once you learn the way Treyarch does and hides stuff, you'll be like super amazed, and you'll start like really geeking out, fanboying out on the way they do stuff. I tell people get mad when I solve stuff, but when they like troll and hate, they're really indirectly hating on the devs. That the devs are so smart and clever that they can hide stuff like this. So it's kind of an insult and a compliment, I guess, to the devs when people start hating and doubting, because it's like there's no way that could have been an Easter egg. There's absolutely no way, and I've done that in the past until I really start seeing it unravel. So, like I said, there's a lot of trolls and haters and stuff like that, but it does indirectly kind of troll and compliment the devs at Treyarch that makes this stuff and put it in there. The most important one of the bigger Easter eggs that I kind of started noticing playing the Cold War beta, I'm like, why does Garcia remind me of Tony Stark so much with the little goatee and the hoodie? And of course, that's taken from inspiration from the boxing scene in Iron Man 2, was actually super cool. And you can start seeing it now. Everything from even the hair, the skin tone, the exact little length of the hair on his face, the hoodie. Doesn't wear a chain though. I wonder what's on his chain. I should have noted. Oh, it's just a dog tag, I think. But how obviously he's Spanish. Tony Stark is not Spanish. I think he's just Caucasian. But again, another super cool Easter egg that they added in there. He was my favorite character during the Black Ops Cold War beta. He was the one that I used the most, just because he seemed really edgy and cool, even more than Woods and Adler and stuff like that. I was the one that I ended up using the most, because he looked like he has an attitude, and I think I like that. Um, but he is supposed to be representative. Don't know how much of a backstory he's going to have, how deep they're going to go with his backstory, if he is going to end up being the main character, like the Tony Stark character. As you can probably start venturing where I'm going with this, next is the Pack-a-Punch machine. And a lot of people were like, why is it so different and circular? Here's a close-up of it. And of course, you'll be able to tell by now where Treyarch is going with this. It's supposed to be his chest protect. I don't say chest protector, but the arc reactor in his chest that powers him. I don't remember in the first movie he ends up getting like hit really bad or hurt really bad. I don't remember the origin of why he has it in his chest. I think it's probably the same thing, and I probably should have included it. That I think he ends up getting close to a nuclear reaction of some sorts, and I'll probably end up watching it tonight, maybe making a first another video about the first movie and stuff like that. But because it's based around particle accelerators and proton accelerators, I think this is more about Iron Man 2. But I probably will still go ahead and rewatch the first movie. Other thing, the infamous ray gun. I don't want to calling it infamous. Some people love it or hate it. They probably don't. They don't even take it out the box. Some people, depending if it gets nerfed or not. So the ray gun, I believe, is put into the trailer to kind of give you maybe a subliminal message of Iron Man, like the red. It is definitely the same red. I don't know if that's why. I don't know anybody at Treyarch, but I don't know if that's why maybe Porter made the ray gun. And you know what's funny too? Which, like I tell people, I'm learning stuff when I make videos because I do it all in one shot. I don't pre-record, I don't edit or anything like that. Did anybody ever notice that the optical crosshairs are the exact same, and Treyarch probably did that on purpose? And I'm wondering why they did now. So that's something I'm gonna have to maybe even make a separate video for. I don't know why I pay more attention to detail while I'm recording, but that's exactly, and they put it right next to each other. That has to have a meaning. Is Porter maybe the bad guy in this now, making these weapons or something like that? Is he going to be the one that we're going to go up against, maybe as a gang or a faction? But that's crazy. You think about it now that the ray gun crosshairs are identical to the rabbit um, spray paint. But anyways, like I said, oops, that's supposed to show or maybe subliminally show you Iron Man or hint at it. You can tell too. You go rewatch the trailer, everything slows down. The camera slows down at stuff that you need to pay attention to, as any trailer does in any movie, video game. The important stuff, they either shine light on it or they slow down the camera to bring emphasis to that you're supposed to pay attention to. Next one, which is super important. All these need to have their own videos separately, and I probably will do that. So another thing, I think this is Deadshot Daiquiri has a new awesome look to it. And if you know about Iron Man and where I'm going with this, you'll see exactly, or you should know by now where I'm going with this. So that was supposed to mimic, it looks like, Black Sabbath's album cover. I guess specifically 666 album cover, how the guitar in the back is supposed to be like the lightning bolts in the back, I guess. I know they do have some neo-Nazi stuff to it, it looks like, or themes to it. And these are some other stuff that I took off of Google Images. Some people made their own versions of it. Usually maybe people that's selling t-shirts and their artistic version of the album cover. But again, you can obviously see how the guitar is supposed to be like the lightning bolts behind the skull. And so, as you probably don't know, or maybe you have guessed by now, Iron Man is both a movie and originally a song by Black Sabbath. That's why, like I said, that's where the inspiration for that came from. So I wanted to kind of break down, and before I forget, if you go and listen to Echoes of the Damned, it does start the exact same way. Not lyrically, but it beat-wise, it starts the same exact way Iron Man starts if you listen to both of them back to back. I'm obviously not going to include that in here for copyright reasons, but I'm just going to read the lyrics, and this is where I saved it for the end because I also wanted to throw in a theory, like, if Treyarch in Call of Duty is mimicking Iron Man, maybe even Black Sabbath, is it hinting at Maxis being some type of robot like he was in the past, or some type of electronic? I know he has created robots at Doris and stuff like that, and robots were in Origins and stuff like that. So I'm just going to go over the lyrics and wonder who it's hinting at, either Richtofen that we haven't seen yet, or Eddie, or Maxis that we haven't seen or heard from yet. It says, he has lost his mind. Can he see, or is he blind? Can he walk at all, or if he moves, will he fall? Is he alive or dead? At this point, we don't know where Maxis is, and we don't know where Eddie is. He has thoughts within his head. We'll just pass him there. Why should we even care? He was turned to steel in the great magnetic field, where he traveled time for the future of mankind. I think the only one that's traveled, if this is hinting at Eddie, is Eddie. That's time traveled. I don't know if Max is time traveled. I think he was just there trying to find Sam. I don't know if he really time traveled. Nobody wants him. He just stares at the world. Maybe, yeah, maybe something happened to Eddie that he's kind of like turned a different person in some sorts, and maybe he's really sad. I don't know. He's a different Richtofen than the other Richtofen, and he's planning his vengeance that he will soon unfold. Now the time is here for Iron Man to spread fear, vengeance from the grave. Unless Max did end up turning to be the villain. If people don't know that, I was even asking today, I'm like, what do people even know? I don't even know what people know and don't know. But you should probably know by now that did end up in the final end of everything being the villain. Richtofen was right. He was trying to stop Max's, and we should have listened. Max's was the one who let the Apothicons come to Earth, and yeah, I guess Earth, and destroy everything. I don't know if he was mad because of Samantha. I know he ended up releasing the Shadow Man, or becoming the Shadow Man, and calling the Apothicons to Earth, and that was the original. I'm not going to go too much into this. Is going to be a real long video, so I'm just leaving that there. But I think even before Tunguska, was he the one who called the Apothicons, and the Apothicons crashed the 115 to Tunguska? Maybe he was familiar with 115, knew that it existed. Maybe somebody spoke to him, and the only way they could win the war, or for him to take over, was to call the Apothicons before 1904, somehow. Maybe go back in time, I don't know. But he ended up calling the Apothicons to Earth in 1904. The Apothicons crashed the 115 meteorite, and I think everything began from there. So anyways, I think I pretty much showed everything that you guys need to see. Anyways, it's pretty cool if anyone from Treyarch is still watching or listening, or if they even do. Good job with this. I probably will make another video about the other movies that may be included in Die Machine Cold War. But I'll just leave it with this one for now. I'll see you guys later. Thanks.